Hey, what's good, fam? Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight on Wednesday, October 21st. Let me know where you guys are coming from inside the comment box. Love to take your calls tonight. Call line is open, 205-850-0883. Actually just got some footage in from the University of Alabama. This was from practice on Wednesday, October 21. And I know you guys just saw the Nick Saban press conference that we had. So I want to take your calls, talk about Alabama and Tennessee. I also want to talk about Mac Jones and the season that he's having. Cooked up this graphic today, and I think it's pretty incredible to see what Mac Jones has done through the first 4 games of the season, right? I want to put him side by side with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, check out these. Actually, let me take down that top banner. Call line is 205-850-0883. I posted it in the comment box. But check this out, fam. I mean, when you stack up Trevor Lawrence and you stack up Mac Jones side by side, I mean, let's remember that Trevor Lawrence has played one more game compared to Mac Jones. Mac Jones, start on the left, 90 of 115, 78.3%. I mean, it's incredible to think how efficient Mac Jones has been through the first 4 games of the season against, this is the keynote, quality competition, right? 1,500 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, both those interceptions, that comes to the defense making some great plays, right? It's not like Mac Jones had kind of lofted one across the middle of the field or something like that, or threw a bad 50-50 ball. I mean, I think both the defense made great plays on those. Let me know if you guys agree. All right, when we look at Trevor Lawrence's stats on the right, 108 of 148, 73%, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. Passer rating, 192. I bring this up because I think when we start to look towards the Heisman race, when we start to look, at the future of where Mac Jones is headed, where Trevor Lawrence is getting, I think that they're on a collision course, not only from a team standpoint, but I think Heisman race. I get it. It's all rat poison. But hey, this isn't coach speak. This is the Bama Insider call-in show, and I'll take your calls tonight. Call line is open. 205-850-0883 is the call line number. Just wanted to kind of throw that at you while we kind of wait for everybody to get logged in. I appreciate it. What I'm actually going to do right now is, usually I upload the practice footage that University of Alabama sends us, and then I kind of do a voiceover, and then I upload it. But since I had Saban and then I have the call-in show, sometimes it gets overwhelming to upload all that at one time. So what you guys are going to see is a live read of me doing the practice footage. I haven't really looked at this footage, so I'm going to play the footage. I'm going to talk about what I see during the footage. You guys can watch it with me, and I hope you guys like it. So sound off in the comment box. Let me know where you guys are coming from, and then I'll take your calls in just a few minutes. 205-850-0883 is the call line number. So I'm going to show you the footage right now of Alabama practicing from today. I'm going to talk about the footage, and then I'll come back and we'll talk more on BamaInsider.com. Thank you very much to everybody who's joining me today. Appreciate it. And here we go. All right. Okay. All right. So this is footage that we just got in from the University of Alabama. There's Alex Leatherwood getting you going. You got Mac Jones. And the season that Mac Jones has been having has been really fantastic, right? I mean, you look how he's been poised, how he's been collected. And, who would have thought that after Tua Tagovailoa that you would see this quarterback play continue to improve? And I think a lot of that has to do because of the fact of Steve Sarkisian. There's Trayshawn Holden, number 11. Can't wait to see him get on the field. Got more footage of Mac Jones, and I think it's only going to get better with Mac Jones. And yes, we're going to get an opportunity down the road to see Bryce Young and what he can do, but I think right now it's all about Mac Jones, and Mac Jones has really led this team. And how about John Mechie? Welcome to the show. He's been having a fantastic season, but I think as long as you see that one-handed catch in the backfield by Slade Bolden. Let me rewind that if you guys didn't see that. So we're going to be looking. All right. You're going to be looking in the back right there. Number 18, Slade Bolden, the one-handed catch. I see that. All right, you got Jalen Waddle right here. He's been having a fantastic season. I mean, I just love watching everything that he puts in, all the work that he puts in, the ride outs, right? They're such ballers. And, all these guys, every single time, they're such nightmares to prepare for. No footage of Smitty, I don't think, but Jalen Waddle and John Mechie certainly doing their thing and having such big seasons. Those are the big three this year. And, you lose Jerry Jeudy. You lose Henry Ruggs and these guys come with it, right? All right, let's back that up actually. And looks like we're going to get that is Kevin Harris. My goodness, get off the ball, young man. He's wearing number 13. I'll rewind it real quick because looks like he's on scout team. So whoever is number 13 for Tennessee, that's who he's prepping for. Here's Ben Davis, number 1. And sometimes you'll see these players have different numbers. This is Derez Parks. Haven't really seen much of him this season. Now we're getting footage of the defensive line. Actually, let's back that up. Jamil Burrow is number 98 right there to your right. He actually got 11 snaps against Georgia. So he's one of the freshmen. Not a lot of freshmen have played for Alabama this season just because I think of the gauntlet of the schedule. But Jamil Burrows was certainly one of those guys to get on the field against Georgia, which I think says a lot. Braylon Ingram right there, number 52, and defensive line getting work with defensive line. So there's your footage, and hope you guys like that. That's a live read right there. I didn't even know what was coming my way. So thumbs up. Super chats always appreciated, and thank you very much for joining us right here on BamaInsider.com. And we got a lot of people from Kentucky in the house. I appreciate it. What's up, Kim? All right, Brunswick, GA. I got you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. What's up, Caden? I see you, man. Same name as my son, except you spell it with a K. Appreciate it. All right, what's up, Roderick? Thanks for calling in, or checking in, rather, from out in Nashville, beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Frederick, I see you from Louisville, by way of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Beautiful Tuscaloosa. Kentucky in the house. What's up? What's up, DB? Appreciate it. Aloha, my friend. Thank you for checking in from all the way from the beautiful state of Hawaii. We appreciate it. All right. Mac 10 for Heisman. Wesley saying, I told you at the beginning of the show, if you guys are just joining, thank you very much for joining us. My name is Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Call in line at the bottom of the screen or up at your top. What would that be? Your top left, top right? 205-850-0883. Side-by-side numbers. I mean, when you look at, the side-by-side numbers, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see those two lined up right next to each other, right? Mac Jones, has put in some amazing work this season and, through 4 games. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that he's done it against tougher competition. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Hey, Mark, what's up, man? Appreciate the super chat, man. Super chats feed. Thank you so much. You put a lot into this, and I really appreciate when you get a super chat. What's a super chat? You're probably wondering. Well, it's basically like a tip. If you like the work of the staff here at BamaInsider.com, you can throw up a super chat. We really appreciate it. Anything helps. And we got 94 viewers on right now. We should have 94 thumbs up. The thumbs up really helps because that helps get our channel out. So keep hitting that thumbs up button. We really appreciate it. I kind of have, I was thinking about this. Question of the night. Let me write this out. Question of the night. Where were you? Let me write this out. Where were you in 2006? Because that was the last time that I believe Tennessee beat Alabama. All right, for me, I was living in Washington, D.C. I mean, what about you? Where were you guys living? Right? Where were you guys at? I mean, here it is right here on the comment box or right on the screen in front of you. I mean, you look at all these victories by the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, I've known nothing different since I've been here in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I know people say this is the biggest rivalry game. To me, a rivalry game is something that goes back and forth. Like, I get it. Tennessee's a huge rivalry game, third weekend in October. But, to me, it's like the rivalry game is against Auburn because I don't see Tennessee winning, within the recent times. I get it. Crimson Tide fans go back decades, but to me, this doesn't really seem like a rivalry game, right? A rivalry game is supposed to be split kind of by the teams. I don't know. I mean, that's just me. Want to kind of go through the stats and, wait for our first caller. Call line is open, 205-850-0883. All right. So yeah, that's the question of the night, right? Where were you in 2006? Everybody chiming in. No, and Trevor Lawrence, no, he didn't play Georgia, right? He played, what was it? The Citadel, Wake Forest, Miami, and Georgia Tech. I mean, it's a lot of different competition, right? Nathan was in high school, right? I told you I was living in D.C. So where were you guys in 2006? That was the last time that Tennessee beat Alabama. Zuri was up in Miami. Chuck was in Connecticut. Everybody's all over the place, right? All right, so that's kind of the question of the night is where were you in 2006? I want to go over a couple different sets of stats while we wait for our callers. Actually, we got our first caller in. Hello, you're on the line
Hey
with
Kyle,
Kyle
it's Nathan.
Henderson. Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in. Who I'm on the line with and where are you
Hey
calling in
man.
from?
So this is Nathan calling from Pensacola, Florida. Hey, so a few things I want to go over. One is you said you went to school in Pella. I don't know if you know where Grinnell, Iowa is, but that's
Yeah.
where I'm from.
Okay.
So just 40 minutes away from where you went to school. But hey, I wanted to talk about something with Mac Jones, and I think he really embodies the trust the process. The reason why I say that is because he came in with Tua coming into as he was like a 14th ranked QB in the class, and then he had Jalen Hurts, and he just kind of stuck around and just really built up on developing his game and just sticking it out. And I think that's one of the things that kind of you said that Saban was rejuvenated from COVID, the false positive. But I also think that players like Mac Jones and the offense have kind of rejuvenated Saban's, you know, game. The offense has really changed the way he's looked at football.
Yeah, I think the way that Mac Jones has really commanded this offense, I think has been monumental, especially through the start of a very difficult schedule. I think Missouri's defense was very talented. I think Ole Miss game, everybody remembers that game, and it was a game where he really had to step up and show that he could, really command this offense at that high level. And I think a lot of people aren't talking about, coming into the season, could Mac Jones win that big game? And I think he just proved that, beating the Georgia Bulldogs. I get it, it's at home, but still, that Georgia defense, we all saw it, how talented they were. I thought there was a very good defense. And, those two teams probably meet again. But I think you're right. The way that Mac Jones has played has been certainly fantastic. And just like I said in my observations, Nick Saban, I saw a lot of recharge after the COVID. Or
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
the false COVID, you know what I'm saying? Like when he had to step out for a couple of days, where those were the receiving the negative tests. I saw a lot of kind of recharge for him on the sidelines. Did you see that as well?
Oh yeah, I totally seen that. And one of the things that kind of with what you just said is I really feel like this team has something different besides skill, talent. I believe they have something that they're all kind of, I don't know, almost fighting for, you would say. In the years prior, the defense kind of rallied the team, or maybe Tua rallied team. I really feel like when you look at the pass pro and the run, on run protect and everything, it seems like the whole team is committed to winning. And I feel like there's something different with this team. And you've seen that even in the dance at the end of the game with Georgia with Saban. You just feel like there's something different about this team that goes beyond talent, skill, or anything. They just feel like they're more of a team and then we really have been in the last few years.
I think you bring up some good points. I think kind of, Nick Saban knows that the leadership on this team is very good. I think he has some seniors who have been around. And I think when you look at this offense, this offense is probably one of the best offenses that Alabama's had. You even saw Jeremy Pruitt today say that this is the best Alabama offense he's ever seen. And that's coming after a season where you had Tua Tagovailoa, Jerry Jeudy, and you had Henry Ruggs. Now, I think a big part of that is the big boys up front, right? You have Alex Otherwood, you have Evan Neal, you have Landon Dickerson.
Cornbread.
Exactly. You have Cornbread. All these guys playing at such a high level with a lot of experience. And I think you're right. And one point I wanted to talk about with our next caller who's on the line, we'll get to you in just a second, is kind of the back end of the schedule. And I was talking with our team writer, Tony Sukalis, just recently. And I think when you look at kind of the back end, what keeps this team motivated? Because I think non-coaches speak, you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, Alabama's going to beat every single team. Well, look, they got to beat Tennessee, right? This is a rivalry game. You go into Mississippi State, and who knows what team's going to show up with Mike Leach. You got to be on guard, and then it's about redemption. Let's face it. LSU beat Alabama last year, and so did Auburn. So those two games at that back end of the schedule, an improved Kentucky program who's been very good, quietly good throughout the last couple of years, and then you have Arkansas who's kind of on the rise. So I think all directions are that Alabama will probably be a double-digit favorite over these teams. But I think overall, this team has one goal, and that goal is to win a national championship. Anything else while I got you on the line, Nathan?
Oh, no, man. I appreciate your time, and roll tide.
All right. Take it easy, man. Roll tide to you. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. That was Nathan from Pensacola. Thank you very much for calling, and we'll take our next caller right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Mr. Indy. How are you?
Good, man. What's up? Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Right. Sorry, this is Tricky Ricky. I'm calling out of Coleman, Alabama.
All right, what's up, Tricky Ricky? Appreciate it, man. Tricky Ricky Coleman. Go ahead, man. Shoot.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna ask you what your thoughts are on. You talked about it earlier, the dancing in the locker room. I don't know. Is Nick Saban getting soft, or is he still just nasty on D? And also, are you for the dancing in the locker room? Do you think the guys are maybe being perverted? I didn't see any twerking or anything, and I didn't watch the dancing. I watched it for a minute, and I was like, oh my goodness. But what are your thoughts on the dancing? You talked about.
All right. I'll answer you on the other line in terms of like the dancing and the twerking. I mean, come on now. I think, as Nick Saban said, he it was an emotional game. And I think when you look at kind of the over arching aspect of this, I mean, Nick Saban came to this game. He couldn't coach with the team for, what was it, 2 days or something like that, going against the biggest opponent, Georgia, and then not being on the sidelines with those guys for practice or whatever. I mean, Nick Saban loves to grind. I mean, he loves that grind. I think being away from the team, I think that was the recharge. And the dancing, loved it, man. I think you got to come with it. And, he's a player's coach. I think, all those players love him. They love to see that intensity from him. And, Alabama's not the same without Saban. So I absolutely love the dancing. Moving on to our next caller. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hey,
who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, I'm calling in from Brunswick, Georgia. Cam Best.
All right, Cam Best, Brunswick, Georgia. What's up, man? Thank you very much for joining the show. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Hey, man, no problem. Hey, listen, I just wanted to speak on the you were talking about continuity with Alabama this year, and I remember back probably 2009 when Nick Saban won his first national title at Alabama. It was really exciting. It was kind of a new thing, and it was like, man, this is really great. And then the next year kind of had a down year, but in 2011 it was like, man, this really reminds me of that 2009 national championship team. And I think this year it's the same thing. It's like, we see the same continuity with this team as we do with the previous national championship. I mean, the offense is clicking at a good time. The defense is, they're coming around. They still got the rest of the season to get better. And, they really put a beat down on Georgia like they did. And we're still making improvements on defense. We're not even at our potential yet. And, I just think that the continuity that Alabama has is the same type of continuity as the other national championships teams that they've had in previous years.
You know what? When I look at the continuity, and I love that word, and because I think a lot of that comes from, and let me know if you agree with this, is because of the fact that the coaching staff only had to replace one coach, and that was, they got rid of Brian Baker. I don't know if they got rid of him, but they subbed him out for Freddie Roach, and you have Steve Sarkisian back. And I get it. Not a lot of people are a fan of Pete Golding. But you have Charles Kelly back, Sal Sinceri back. You get what I'm saying? Like, all these coaches are back, and I think that helps the added continuity, along with the fact that this team has a lot of upperclassmen who have played throughout the years, or who have been in that process, right? I mean, Nick Saban talked about today.
Man.
Mac Jones, I mean, he's been behind Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts, so you see a lot of that continuity with these guys coming up.
Exactly. And, I think with Nick Saban's with the way he's been running the Alabama football program and what they're used to, I think it's plug and play. I mean, they got the players. All they have to do is have some great coaching, and he's doing that. He's got Steve Sarkisian. I think he got Pete Golden to teach him and kind of mentor him to turn him into a Kirby Smart, type of guy. And I don't think he's there yet, but I think he has the potential, and Nick Saban sees stuff that we don't see. I mean, he can see the potential in somebody. But, this team, man, they're hitting the season, especially on offense. I just can't wait to see what they're going to be like at the end of the year, man. It fathoms me, man, of how good this team is.
Yeah, I think so. I think this team, has, I mean, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, and just like you said, the defense, it really is trying to find themselves still. And I think maybe they will. I think that their trajectory has been upward. I mean, they had to make some stops against Georgia, which they did. They came up with 2 big 3-and-outs, and they came up with 2 interceptions in that game, which, and Nick Saban said the game was based on turnovers and how Alabama played in that second half. Anything else while you're on the show, Ben?
Hey, man. Thanks for taking my call, Cal. Roll Tide.
All right. Roll Tide to you, buddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. On to our next caller, and we'll take it now. Hey, what's up, buddy? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from? All righty. On to our next call. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, this is Mike from Jacksonville, Florida. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Thank you very much for calling in, man. It's good to hear from you, man. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to put a different spin. Every time I call, I put a different spin and perspective on the game itself. I want to start with Tennessee. I know everybody's saying, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I made a comment, different podcast. And what I was saying that this was going to be a trap game. Not that Tennessee's going to win, but my major concern is injury. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, Jerry Pruitt right now, man, his back is against the wall. He had already fired his defensive line coach. Do you realize he's got these guys working on Sunday? Practicing on Sunday. Was you aware of that?
Who was practicing on Sunday?
Tennessee players.
Okay.
He's got them practicing on Sunday, man.
Okay.
And basically, his back is against the wall, and I understand that if and I know how Coach Saban is. You don't take anything for granted. But the big thing is, the key to me is these guys getting so overzealous to win, because of the losses that have come by on the Tennessee side of the house, that, we end up with some injuries. And that's my major concern in regards to Tennessee. Not that we're going to lose the game, but it's the fact that, the injuries itself and hopefully not to our main starters. The second thing I got is, I know that you talked about, looking at the remaining schedule after Tennessee, but I'm going to tell you something. And I don't know if you've been watching this. Arkansas is a deadly team. Arkansas right now is 2-2, but they should be 3-1. They actually won that Auburn game, you know the story behind the
Yeah.
But that Barry Odom defense, I'm telling you, man, look what they did. Did you see the game? Did you see the highlights of the game that they did with Ole Miss after we played?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep.
They destroyed Ole Miss, man. I mean, they destroyed them. And so I don't want to put a check mark. And the only reason I'm bringing up Arkansas and that Barry Odom defense is the fact that I don't want to put a check mark, because that's the last game that Bama's going to play. And as you know, with COVID-19, each week now, because they didn't have any spring practice, now each team should get better and better and better. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm looking at the Arkansas, the last game, and I'm not going to put a check mark right there yet. That's what I really call a real trap game. So that's pretty much all I got. And people need to start paying attention. There's some people that's really looking at Arkansas right now and saying, hey, these guys are sleepers. They coming, man. And I mean, they coming strong. They offense might not be there yet, but they defense, I'm telling you, they just as good as Georgia or better in the sense each week. So just pay attention to what I'm saying, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's all I got tonight.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you calling in. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. Okay. All right. Take it easy, man.
You too.
All right. Mike from Jacksonville. All right. We'll take our next caller now. Hello. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hey,
who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, this is James from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you. Thanks for calling in, James.
Hey, well, you know what that game is. I know it was a very emotional game. The defense did their job at the end, but first half, we're going to have to do better. We're going to have to do better. We can't be in these shootouts with these teams in the first half. We need to shut them out from the get-go. And I know we a second half team and everything and stuff like that, but that first half is going to be critical, because we may come across a team that we can, like Ole Miss, we cannot sit down. We're gonna have to score more points in it. And I think Pete Golden does, he done a good job last week. Don't get me wrong, but he needs to do a better job as far as getting that defense ready in the first half.
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate the call in, and I think when you kind of look at this team and the trajectory of where they could go, I mean, it's just really up to Alabama. I mean, because I don't think there's any team out in college football that can outshoot this team, at least in the SEC, right? And Mike was just talking about Arkansas, and I get it. Arkansas is doing a fantastic job, but kind of when I look at this schedule right here. And I'm not going to coach speak with you guys. I'm not going to say it's all about this next game. I'm going to put it how it is. I mean, Tennessee, not impressive. Mississippi State, not impressive. You guys saw the news with LSU today. I mean, it's a train wreck there. Kentucky, I get it. They're improved. That could be an interesting game. I think their defense is a little bit better than people give them credit for. Auburn, I think that's a redemption game. And then Arkansas, we'll see what happens, but, it's limited capacity. And, for the last, 12 games or whatever, Alabama has completely dominated Arkansas. I get it. It's an improved team. It's a different year. But until we see an offense that can really go up tempo and go against this team, I still think Alabama is the outstanding favorite in the SEC. When I look long term, I think that, Clemson, I guess we'll see what Ohio State brings, and we know they're going to have a fantastic team, but Clemson's really the only team out there, that I feel could really challenge this offense. And I think, the defense will get there. I think we saw improvements, but I mean, let's be real. When I look at this schedule, I don't really, not a lot of teams stand out. I think Alabama got past, the toughest part of their schedule already.
Yeah, and I agree with you there as far as that sense right there. When it comes to we get them past our toughest part right there and everything, I just it's like he said, it's set up for trap games. Me personally, I don't see no trap games at all, because I know how Alabama is coming. 51 point average in the first 4 games. You cannot beat that. And at hand. So, it's just more I'm just worried about the defense side. And injuries, no, I ain't worried about it, because I believe the next man step up. They're just like, if Moses get hurt again, we got Shane Lee right there, because he played the whole year last year. So it's really the next man up. And really, Alabama, with recruiting, has stepped up and built much depth along the linebacker, defensive line, and secondary. So I think, going back to 2014 when we had all that dealt with, Jonathan Allen, Williams, and Deshaun Hand, and all them, I think we got that depth now. So as far as injuries concerns, I'm not worried about it. I know the next man going to step up and have his job.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in, James. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. We'll catch up soon, okay?
All right.
All right. James from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. By the way, thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate the super chat. It really means a lot. Super chats go a long way right here on Bama Insider. So we got 200 people watching. There should be 200 thumbs up as well. So be sure and hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. I've been showing Alabama highlights from this evening and taking your calls right here on BamaInsider.com. A lot of people asking about, trap games, and a lot of people asking about, this Tennessee game, kind of the question of the night that I posed to everybody. Where were you guys in 2006? All right. Let me know where you guys were in 2006. That's the question of the night. We'll move on to our next caller, and we'll take it right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? This is Matt. I'm from Birmingham.
Matt from Birmingham, man. Go ahead. You're on the show.
Yes, sir. A couple questions here. First one, I want to see. Just want to ask you how you feel, how you think Dylan Moses has played this year. Just from what I've been kind of observing, I think obviously he's Dylan Moses. He's going to be great in the future. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously great now. I just think he's a little tentative, maybe a little tentative, just like coming off surgery. I don't think he's as aggressive. I say as aggressive quite yet. I just kind of wanted to hear, that's just my opinion, but I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on that. And also an update on Brian Ray. I don't know if he got hurt or not in the game. And then offensively, I think we kind of look similar to LSU last year. So I kind of agree with you there as far as I don't see anybody stopping us as far as a trap game. With us, it's really like the redemption games. Like, I'm not worried. Like LSU and Auburn, not worried about it. The kinds of games that's like Mike Leach, that he might dress up as a penguin on Halloween night. You know what I'm saying? And if you're Mississippi State, you're playing with house money. You're playing with house money at that point. You're already loose. So it's like teams like that. That's who we got to worry. Like, and not that we even got to worry about it, but like those are the teams. Like maybe even Arkansas. I mean, they're creeping up on some folks. Maybe at the end of the year, but that's about it. I don't see as far as trap game. That's the only two I can really think of. Those two. Because the other games, I mean, we're coming. Just those two are just maybe if like we slip up. But anyway, so those are my questions. Maybe about Moses on the defense, and then LeBron Ray update on him, and then what I just got in saying about that, and then I'm done.
Cool. No, I got you. I think what I wanted to bring up was that these are the actual stats from last game against Georgia, and I appreciate the call, man. Thank you very much. We'll start with Dylan Moses, and Dylan Moses had 10 tackles, 5 solo tackles against Georgia. And following the game, Nick Saban said that Dylan Moses played his best game of the season. So I'm kind of with you. I mean, when you look at the linebacker grades, and we post them on Pro Football Focus, and look, grades are grades. But I mean, the way that he's been playing, I think, has been up and down. Maybe that's because these guys didn't have a true springtime. Maybe it's because that these guys haven't had those early season games against like the Georgia Southerns or whatever, so we could, truly see a warm up. I don't know what it is, but I think in this last game, when you see 10 tackles and then you have Nick Saban, who I think is a pretty straight shooter on all his guys, say that he played his best game and he has 10 tackles right behind DeMarco Hellams, who had 11. I think the trajectory of Dylan Moses right now is up. I don't think he's playing his best football, but it's only the 4th game of the season. So let's continue to see how he progresses. Same with Christian Harris. I think he's, he played fantastic in that first game. And we've kind of seen up and down play for him as well. And the inside linebackers have been kind of up and down. I don't think that's good, but I think Dylan Moses, playing well and receiving high praise from Nick Saban says a lot. When you look at Carl Tucker, he's a tight end. He's a junior college transfer he's a transfer from North Carolina. Nick Saban hasn't said what the injury is tonight during his press conference. He's just said he's out. Or actually, I think he said he's questionable. Same with LeBron Ray. I think LeBron Ray is an elbow or a shoulder. So those guys are questionable. But I think the positive is, I don't know if you guys saw, but Christian Barmore played fantastic against or at least I thought he did. Right? I mean, Christian Barmore and DJ Dell. Like, what was interesting is those guys didn't have the best grades on Pro Football Focus, but I disagree because I look at those guys and the way they played. I mean, I think it was Matt Ray who tweeted something out. It was a Barmore getting the push, and then he got to the quarterback. He stripped the ball out. So let's look at something real quick. All right. DJ Dell, number 94. He had 6 tackles. He had 2 pass breakups. And then you see Christian Barmore right here, number 58. He had 3 tackles, 2 solos. He had 2 pass breakups, 1 tackle for a loss, and he had a forced fumble. And then I think it was DJ Dell who had that pass deflection, which the other defensive lineman, which was Justin Mbogbe, came up with that interception. So you're starting to see that push from the defensive line. I love Christian Barmore. What are your thoughts on Barmore, Matt?
Oh man, Barmore's a beast. That dude's a beast, man. I knew when we because how we recruit, when we went up into Pennsylvania and we pulled a defense, we go up to Pennsylvania and pull a D tackle. He's going to be good. And I just had a feeling about him, and he's mean, man. That boy's mean. I remember watching film on him in practice his freshman year when who else? It was Isaiah Buggs, maybe. Seniors, there were seniors, man, all up in him, riding his tail. And he was mean then, and now he's just controlled aggression. Now he's throwing folks. We got pushed, man. And that second half of that Georgia game, we got pushed. We were getting pushed the whole game, but we really we were getting up in the pocket. It didn't matter who was at quarterback at that point. Because we were going to flush them out anyway. Baltimore's our defensive line. I think a previous caller said it. No, it definitely looks similar. We have the depth there. Mm-hmm. Just kind of plugging it together, kind of like you were saying with Moses, like not having that spring to kind of gel. So I think it's like the same. I guess it's like you were saying, Moses is going to get better as it goes on. But I do like the way Moses is playing. I like the way, it's Dylan Moses. I'm thankful he's even back. But that's just one thing I've noticed. But pass coverage looks good. I just as far as that aggression, like that Rashaan Evans,
sure,
that juice, Rashaan Evans, that Rashaan Evans that he has, that mm-hmm. We've seen it. It's just That's all. He's just missing that little twitch. But that's not. He's not missing it. It's just like he's getting back into it. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you 100% about Barmore. That dude, he's just going up. He's just going up. I love a Bobe, Tim Smith, Ishmael Salt. I mean, we're deep. We're deep. So that's good to with this type of schedule. I'm definitely I'm comfortable. I'm definitely like, it wasn't like last year. Like, we're in a better spot, and I think our DBs are playing well too. Malachi's playing good. It's really good to see that. Saw Brian Branch play a little bit in or maybe in dime packages in the first half. So he's good to get him out there against his hometown or home state team. Probably know he's going to want to play. That's why we saw Billingsley. He got up in there and played. So it was, it was definitely, man, we got all our dudes in. We got everybody's confidence going, rotating everybody. So it's definitely good. And, man, I agree with you about Walmore, though. Our D-line set. I think our O-line's good. We got this crop coming in. I think realistically, Nick probably wants to win about two, 3 more, because he lost those 2. You know how he is, man. He probably wants to get those 2 back. And so I don't know. That's just my opinion. I mean, heck, I wish he'd just stay forever, But I think he wants to win 2 more, because you can't bring in this recruiting class we're bringing in without, like, because with the team we have this year, with this recruiting class coming in, you can't. I mean, he's definitely thinking. He's still thinking. I mean, he's not slowing down quite yet. I think. But anyway.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, and please call again. All right.
Yes, sir, brother.
All right, Matt from Birmingham. Appreciate the call. Thought he brought up some good points, though. I think Dylan Moses. It's kind of the curious case, but I want for you guys to watch something out there, right? When you look at the 2 deep, I mean, Nick Saban hasn't played a lot of 2 deep at all. I put out a freshman report today on BamaInsider, and you kind of look at the players who have played as freshmen. I mean, you can count them on your hand almost, right? Malachi Moore, he's started. You have William Anderson. There was a couple guys who have also spot played, but there's not a lot of true freshmen that are really getting into games. And I think that has to do with just the fact that Alabama is going through this gauntlet of the season. Will that continue the rest of the way? I'm not sure, but I'm just, I can see the trend. It's not like the last couple of years where you see all these freshmen kind of sprinkling in. It's more like Nick Saban is keeping in his starters throughout the entire game, something that we really haven't seen in quite some time. Okay, we'll take our next caller.
What's he talking about?
Hey, what's up, man? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's happening, Kyle? This is Carl with a K from the A.
All right, man. Carl with the K from the A. All right. What's the A stand for?
Atlanta, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm a diehard Bama fan, though.
All right, Carl with the K from the A.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. You're on.
Yeah, what's happening? All right, man. I just got to get some things off my chest for real. And, Bama's defense, they had not played the standard all year, and I can't stand it. Yeah, did we play good the second half against Georgia? Yeah, we did. We did. We played better. But this whole year, last year and the year before that, we had not been playing the standard, Kyle. And let me tell you how bad it be. My mama, she 94 years old. Okay, she grew up Bama fan. My daddy, he Bama fan. She looked at me in that first half against Georgia, and she said, "Boy, that boy's stupid." And she talking about Pete Golden. Now, did we play better in the second half? I got a question for you, Kyle. Who called the plays in the second half? I don't think it was Pete. And I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it real. I want you to tell me and explain to me and to us, who was that?
I think when you look at, I'm trying to look for the graphic because I looked at the defense and I thought it was pretty astounding. And I think this is it. Let me see. I think this is Georgia's drive chart. Okay. So you look at it and you look at the first part of the game. Interception, punt, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, right? Then we go into the half after Will Riker hit that 52-yard field goal. Something happened. All right, Carl from the A. All right, because you come out and you look, punt, interception, and a field goal to end the game. So did Nick Saban take over? Did Charles Kelly, who also wears a title, defensive coordinator? I don't know if we'll ever find out, but something changed at halftime. I mean,
I agree.
Because I mean, look at the drive chart. They just didn't come out and just start playing better. You know what I'm saying?
Like, we did a complete 180.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just wasn't. They just didn't change. No.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. It wasn't Pete Gold. He's been messing it up for a long time. And with that D that I saw in the second half, if we could do that consistently, I think we're gonna get what's ours.
Let me ask you something, Carl, before you go.
Yeah.
Do you think kind of when you look at the landscape of college football that the only team that is capable to beat this team, because it's offense, everyone keeps saying it's the best offense ever, whatever. The only team that's going to be able to beat this team is another team that can match or outmatch them offensively? Or is there another team out there that just kind of from top to bottom is better than this team? I know it's a hypothetical question. We haven't seen Ohio State, but is the only team that can beat this team a team with a better offense?
Kyle, that's a good question. Let me tell you this. You don't have to be great at defense. You ain't got to be great. You just got to be good. You just got to be good and you got to be consistent. If you can do those two things in the offense that we got, we're going to get ours. But if you can't play good on defense and you just play sloppy and inconsistent, we're going to get beat. Probably by Clemson, maybe Ohio State. But until then, if you can just play good on D, we be all right. Because we got the offense. We can get some turnovers, something like that. We're going to be all right on D. But the real question is, can we play good on defense? That's the question. And can Pete Golden get us good on defense? That's something I want to know. What do you think about that?
I mean, when was the last time Alabama's defense was truly good is the question. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
3 years ago,
right? I mean, you could probably point to that. And let me ask you this, because a lot of people point to the fact, and thank you very much for Terry on the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Because of the offense is so good. Like, let's take that game against Texas A&M, and I keep pointing back to this stat: the fact that Alabama only had the football 22 minutes and scored 52 points. I mean, that's a lot of time for the defense to be out there, right? So I get it. The game has changed, and we've talked about that enough. But it seems like schematically sometimes, like it was the first half, right? When did Georgia? It was in the first half when Georgia basically motioned out and caught Christian Harris on the outside, right, for a touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean, little things like that. I mean, everyone in the country saw that was going to be a touchdown, right? Did you not? I mean, I'm sure your grandma saw that, right? Maybe that's when she said.
They got that. My mama, that's when my mama stood up out of her bed and she said, "That boy is stupid." She said just like that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody saw that, and I get it. Maybe that's that's up for the safety to come over the top. But the point is, something did change, like you talked about. And will we ever know if someone took over at the halftime controls? We may not find out.
I'm just telling you, something happened. I think it was Carl Scott, not Charles Kelly, who was in Golden's ear, said, "Hey, run this." And he probably ran that because he didn't know what to do. And when Cook, number 4 for Georgia, went up against Christian Harris and scored that touchdown, Kirby was laughing at Pete Golden. He was laughing at him.
He was playing.
That's what my mama said. "Man, boy, you stupid." Just like that.
All right, man. Carl, well, thank you so much, man. I got to move to our next caller, man. But thank you so much for calling.
Hey, you do a great job, man. I really appreciate you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kyle.
Carl from Atlanta. I appreciate it. His mama even standing up. That's funny. Hey, Terry, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Same to Ben as well. I really appreciate it. Like, for whatever reason, we don't get that many super chats on here. And I told myself a long time, it's not all about the super chats. It's about the quality content. So, we've built up such a large channel, which I'm so grateful for. There's a lot of things to be thankful about. I mean, the staff at BamaInsider does such a fantastic job. Bone comes with it. Our team writer, Tony Zukalis, does a fantastic job. And, I thank you very much for joining us tonight. Terry, thanks again. Appreciate it. Same to you, Ben. Move on to our next callers, and we'll take those calls right now. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for waiting on the line. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Next callers, and we'll take those calls.
You there? Hello?
Oh, yeah, this is Chris from Savannah.
Hey, Chris, turn your volume down in the background. Appreciate it.
All right, bud, will do.
You're all right. You're good, man. All right, Chris from Savannah, man. You're on the show. Go ahead.
All right, man. All right, first off, Carl from Atlanta, I agree with a lot what he said. I'm pretty sure someone took over the second half calling duties. But I guess my real question for you, why I called in, is Will Anderson. I saw a stat the other day on SEC Network that said he had the most pressured quarterback, or he had the most quarterback pressures. When do you think he'll actually evolve? And we don't have that. We have the pressure, but we just don't have that sackability like we used to. And I understand that he's a true freshman, but I expect a lot from this guy. What's your look on Will Anderson?
I mean, Will Anderson has been fantastic. I mean, if you follow some of our stuff on BamaInsider, I got some inside nuggets kind of in early August that said that he looked fantastic. And I was like, well, what does fantastic mean? And then when we saw, just how good he was and that Steve Sarkisian had named in the tournament, I got some inside sources that were telling me like he was unbelievable, playing like one of the best players on the entire defense. I'm trying to look for some footage right now to kind of back up what I'm talking about. But I mean, you guys have seen it. And I think everyone saw just how talented he was against Missouri. Now I get it. Missouri had no idea that he was coming off the edge, but he was in on every single play, right? Like he was so fast in the backfield. He was getting his hat on everybody. It seemed like he was everywhere. Now, Ole Miss, they did a fantastic job. And I really felt that Ole Miss's game plan and their offensive line, they beat Bama up front 100%. I mean, they did a fantastic job that game. But I think William Anderson overall, I mean, when you talk about 5 stars, you're like, yeah, is this guy really a 5-star? What is a 5-star? Here's that footage. How good is he really going to be? Will Anderson has certainly exceeded those expectations. I mean, this guy is a grown man, and he plays super, super fast. And I can't even imagine what he's going to be like as a junior, as a sophomore, because the guy just has a nose for the football. And my goodness, they really can't keep him off the field.
I agree with you 100%. Right when we signed him, I was like Will Anderson and what's the other Jack linebacker?
Drew Sanders.
Yes, Sanders. And I went and looked at their high school film, and I'm like, these guys are the truth. Yeah. And I know we signed Sanders as an athlete, and that's exactly what he is. But I looked at Will Anderson, and I couldn't believe it. And I went and like you said, the Missouri game, and it's Missouri. Not giving no discredit to Missouri, but I mean, it was like a missile was getting fired off. And I really do think our next game, they game plan for a true freshman. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no. I think I don't think they knew what was coming with William Anderson. What else you got, Chris? While you're on the show, man?
Oh man, that's it, man. This is actually like my 3rd time watching this, first time caller. So I mean, I'm loving the show so far. I appreciate it.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up, and we'll catch you soon, man. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. All right, Chris from Savannah, Georgia. I still haven't gotten to Savannah, Georgia. I've been in now Tuscaloosa almost 5 years, but I've been to some beautiful places all around the southeast with my wife. I've been checking everything out, and I appreciate it. Ben, if you have a question, man, hit me up, man. Thanks for becoming a member, and thank you for the super chat earlier. So thank you so much, and appreciate it. We'll take our next caller right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, what's up, man? This is Sam from Alabama, man.
Hey, what's up, Sam? Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, man, I just caught the show, man. I don't know what you all been talking about. I was like, well, let me just chime in, I guess. Yeah, man. First of all, I want to just say, man, I appreciate you, Mick, Tony, Trey, Tyler, man. Y'all be bringing it, man. I appreciate all the content y'all provide for us on a daily basis, man. And also Bone also.
Oh yeah, no, I mean all those guys do such a great job, and they make up the team, man. But we're talking Alabama and Tennessee, and we really haven't even talked about Alabama and Tennessee. Sam, is this still a rivalry game?
Is it still? Yeah, to me it is. To me it is. I look forward to this game every year, man. And every time Tennessee comes down here, I make the effort to make sure I go to that game, man. Whenever they come to Tuscaloosa, because I really do want to beat those guys, man. Because I went to the first game actually when that Nick Saban beat Tennessee. I think it was 2007. I was at that game. I think it was Philip Fulmer's last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I look forward to this game every year, man. I look forward to open up a can of whoop ass. So, but yeah, I was listening a little bit, man, and I had a chance to go back and look look at the game from this past Saturday against Georgia.
Okay.
I just I don't know. I don't know if we have, just looking back at the game. I remember I talked to you Saturday. I was like, well, Christian Barmore, he did his thing. He was disruptive. Yeah, Christian Barmore was disruptive. He did make some plays, but going back and looking at the game, I was like, yeah, he screwed up a lot too. And I could see why Nick Saban was kind of like, I remember last year he made a comment about how, Christian Barmore need to be more disciplined and stuff like that. So, especially jumping outside twice on the same play. I didn't, but I mean, he did do his thing, but y'all were talking about the play calling. I still think that Pete Golden was calling the plays though. I still think he was calling the plays. It's just that, give credit to Georgia. Georgia was, they didn't take advantage of some of the opportunities that they had, because guys were still wide open. And let me ask you this. I can recall when Kirby was here, and I can also recall when Jeremy Pruitt was the defensive coordinator. I can recall those two guys really getting in the faces of those defensive guys if they screwed up, right? I don't see that in Pete Golden. I don't really recall Pete Golden really chewing somebody out on the sideline. Have you ever seen that?
You know what? Come to think about it, I mean, you bring up a really good point. I've never seen Golding like right in somebody's face. Maybe it happens behind the scenes. I mean, it's not like we see like every single thing that happens, but at least on the sideline, we've never really seen him getting, into someone's face. Now I get it. Everybody's coaching style is different, but that's actually an interesting point.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, man, I believe that this defense kind of takes on the personality of the guy or the person that's leading. I think it kind of took on the personality of Kirby and Jeremy, because those guys were really aggressive in their approach. And I don't see Pete Golden as being that aggressive type of guy. I remember seeing him on the sideline and Nick Saban kind of going back and forth talking to him, and he just looked like, he didn't know what was going on. So I don't know, man. And another thing, I don't know. I mean, it's something it just popped in my head. It's like, I really don't see how, this guy is really, he's not aggressive to me. I mean, he don't, I don't know. But, just looking back at the game, I see, man, Mac Jones got hit a few times just watching the game again. Yeah, I mean, even though he got rid of the ball, but they always had somebody in his face. But you got to I guess you give Georgia credit for that. But let me ask you this. Whatever happened to that guy that Nick Saban said had some juice, Killian Robinson? Where is he?
That's kind of like the $1 million question. So this is exactly what I know. All right. So Killian Robinson has not been at practice. He was not at practice all in August. He's not at practice now. He never came out on social media and said that he was opting out. He never, there's no injury to my knowledge, and he's not in the transfer portal. So I think if like you line everything up, you can kind of figure out, maybe something. but they never came out and told us like exactly what was happening. So I would think it's probably an opt-out, just kind of looking at like putting things together, but I can't be 100% on that. And I don't think it's an injury because they'll tell you if a player is injured, but I think with kind of like this opting out, Nick Saban came up and told us, he was like, look, that's going to be up to the player and I'm going to leave that to the player. So unless Kellen Robinson just comes out and is like, I'm opting out of the season, then that's kind of all we know, but it's not at practice. And, hopefully at some point, he comes back or whatever, because I thought he would have been, a great weapon for Alabama's already loaded offense, just because he's such a different style running back. Right. All right, man.
Right. And he's but let me ask you just a couple more things, and I'll get off. Has Jeremy Pruitt, has he announced quarterback for this game?
No, I don't think he's announced a quarterback for this game. I know on it looks like leading into the week, he was kind of, trying to, figure out who was going to be the quarterback. And then Nick Saban was asked this week if he's preparing for two quarterbacks. I assume that Alabama is preparing for two quarterbacks. Jeremy Pruitt did say, as everyone saw, that he's going to be coaching the defensive line, as he fired his defensive line coach this week. I think behind the scenes at Tennessee, what started off as what looked to be a promising season. I mean, we all watched Tennessee. I thought they even looked pretty good, right? But now you kind of see the downward trajectory of Tennessee, and I think things are worse than they actually appear.
Yeah, it seemed like they kind of like in turmoil a little bit,
Definitely,
man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. It just anytime that you fire a coach at this point in time, there's something going on.
Definitely.
But now. One thing, and I get off, man.
Okay.
Is it true that is it true that on the same day of the game that the University of Tennessee is also holding a garbage truck workers convention? Is that true, man?
I think so. I think they're going to do it despite COVID rules, and I think that's going to take place at Neyland Stadium. All right. Thanks for calling in, Sam. I appreciate it, man. All right, cool, man. Take it easy and please call again, Sam. All right. That was good. That was good, Sam. Garbage truck convention. You guys have seen that I Hate Tennessee video, right? Everyone's seen that. That's hilarious. I mean, that's one of the best interviews, like one of the best sports interviews. And that was 100% true. I mean, that was all the way through. It was fantastic. So, hey, I appreciate it. No. Sports Center. No, nobody has tried to hire me yet. All right, appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button, fam. I really appreciate it. We got 300 people on right now. Got to get those likes up. We really appreciate it. Super chats, always appreciated right here on Bama Insider. Kyle Henderson, if you guys are just finding our channel, managing editor of BamaInsider.com. Content every single day at BamaInsider.com. I really appreciate it. Originally from Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's my hometown. Now I've been in Tuscaloosa for 5 years. Grew up in Santa Fe, but I've lived in Los Angeles, Redondo Beach. Went to school in Pella, Iowa. Lived in Alexandria, Virginia. Used to work on Capitol Hill for a little while, and now I'm living in beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. All right, as we continue with the show, I'll take our next call. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hi, this is Justin from Illinois.
Hey, what's up, Justin? Thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, my question is, do you think we're going to see Bryce Young against Tennessee this weekend?
Probably. I mean, I think the thing with Bryce Young, I think, it's not like a talent thing that he doesn't have talent, obviously. I think it's just because these first couple games have been, it's been a gauntlet of the SEC, and you haven't seen a lot of freshmen play as accustomed to the past couple years. Now, I'm only confident that Bryce Young plays because I'm confident that Alabama probably gets up on Tennessee by a large margin. I don't know that for sure. Who knows? I mean, Tennessee played Alabama better than I thought last season, but I think that Alabama is playing at such a high level right now. I think they'll use the rivalry game to play really well in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I would suspect, that you see Bryce Young step in. He's going to get more opportunities at some point. I can't wait to see when he gets those opportunities. They're going to come, but I think you have to be patient. And I think a lot of people have to understand that this SEC schedule is not going to allow for a lot of freshmen to get on the field, no matter the talent level, because this team is so good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll just have to be patient and wait and see on Bryce Young. What else you got?
Do you think like next season schedule? Do you think Clemson's going to be on it?
I mean, no, unless it's like in the playoffs or the championship game. I think eventually, I mean, it would be pretty amazing if we saw these two teams, schedule each other like a home and home away. People would freak out. But no, I think the only way that these two teams play would be in a playoff or a national championship game. And you might have missed this before, Justin, but I posted this graphic right here for everyone to see. And I just compared the stats between what Mac Jones has done and what Trevor Lawrence has done. Trevor Lawrence has played 5 games. Mac Jones has played 4 games. So if you guys didn't see this, I'll just go ahead and read it again. Mac Jones, 90 of 115, 78 of 78%, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence, 100 of 8 of 148, 73%, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. And those are through 5 games. And I think what separates those two teams, and I know you didn't ask about this, Justin, but I think probably people would want to know is I think that, when you compare those two teams, I mean, look at the competition, right? Look who Clemson has played and look who Alabama has played. What else you got, Justin? Go ahead.
That's about it.
All right, Justin. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in. Call again next time. All right, buddy?
Okay, thanks.
All right. See you later. All right, Justin from Illinois. I appreciate it. All right. I made that graphic earlier today. I was wondering to myself, I was like, how, do these guys compare, Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones? So I put together that graphic and pretty comparable numbers. But I think, I mean, Mac Jones doing it against Georgia, Texas A&M, Missouri, Ole Miss. I mean, it says a lot. See if he can continue to do that. If he does that, I mean, those two are going to be sitting right next to each other in New York, right? I guess if they even do have some sort of weird Frankenstein Heisman trophy. I don't know. Okay. All right. Moving on to our next call. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Demetrius from North Carolina.
Hey, what's up, Demetrius? Thank you very much for calling, man.
Yeah, back in 06, boy, I had just started me a truck driving job, my first truck driving job in my trucking career, and the company is out of Alabama, and I was excited to go down there, but I didn't realize there was so many Auburn fans there. And yeah, I remember that last time that it was a lot of turnovers for Tennessee. They managed to come back and squeeze out a little victory against Alabama, but that was back in the days, Phil Fulmer, he just, he couldn't cut the mustard. He had to leave, and we've been on the roll ever since. And I just want to piggyback on the game. I'm out there. I know a lot of people down on the defense, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about the defense. Come out second half, start playing zone. Got away from. It looked like they kind of simplified the defense for them, and and it shows success. That shows that they do. The team do have discipline to do their assignment, do what the coaches tell them to. Maybe Coach Pete ain't the type of coach to get up in your face. Maybe he's the type that just want to sit down and talk to you like you're a young man. So, but I'm optimistic about the defense going forward. Each game they get. Starting that second half, it seemed like the tale of two coins. And so that says a lot to me.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to work. We got Demetrius on the line right here from North Carolina, optimistic about the defense. I guess we'll have to wait and see. You kind of look at the backstretch of this game. I think there'll be, opportunities for this team to improve, to see how this defense can kind of, put things together. They got Tennessee, they got LSU, they got Mississippi State, they got Kentucky, they got Arkansas. So plenty of room to improve. So I guess we'll just have to see how things come together for this defense. But I think the trajectory is up. And I'm actually working on right now some breaking news. It looks like Ismail Sobcher has just entered the transfer portal. So I'm going to let you go real quick, Demetrius. And actually, Demetrius, stay on. You got anything else? And then we'll get to our next caller.
No, that's it. You get to your next caller so they can get their comment in.
Okay. All right. Call again, Demetrius. All right. See you, buddy.
All right.
All right. All right, fam. Look, it looks like breaking news, and it looks like Ismail Sobcher is in the NCAA transfer portal. Okay. So, yeah, let me get a graphic real quick of Ismail Sobcher. And this is big news, obviously, you know, for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, and I was going to, you know, I figured that this was going to happen because, you know, not a lot of guys are playing this season when you kind of look at, you know, what this schedule has done. So get this up. You're going to hear a screenshot in 3, 2, and I'm doing this live. So I produce the show like entirely by myself. I don't have like a producer. So a lot of the stuff that you see, like I literally do it on the fly. So, all right. Give me just a second. All right. So Ismail Sobcher is in the transfer portal. And what does this mean for the Alabama Crimson Tide? Well, I mean, defensive lineman, 6'4", 310 pounds, redshirt freshman, and a guy who, you know, really hasn't seen the field during his time at Alabama. I mean, I think when we look at, you know, kind of production and you know, what he's done, we've all been kind of waiting. You know, last year as a true freshman, only played against Western Carolina. And then, you know, this season really hasn't seen any time for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think, you know, I think a big sign of that was that, you know, Jamil Burrow playing this season and in its last game. And I think that kind of the writing on the wall that, you know, maybe he's just not cut out. I mean, a lot of it last year was kind of, you know, a weight issue. And now he looked like he had slimmed down to me. Give me a second. But I guess we'll have to, you know, see if he does transfer out. But I think, you know, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it would be a big loss? I don't know. Sound off in the comment box. But and Ismail Sobcher definitely in the transfer portal. I was able to confirm that just now. You know, various people reporting it. I asked my people, and yeah, Ismail Sobcher in the transfer portal for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And you know, big news. I think it hurts down the road, and I think you're going to start seeing that, you know, coming up because of the fact that you know, just guys aren't playing. So, all right, hey Hudson, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to tweet something out just real quick and be right back on BamaInsider. I'll just take a quick 2-minute commercial break, but Ismail Sobcher in the NCAA transfer portal. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and I'll take your calls in just a minute. All right, had to tweet something out. Follow us on social media, by the way, at BamaInsider. You can follow me, Rivals_Kyle. I'm not a guy who like tweets my entire life away, so don't expect to see like a ton of tweets from me. When I tweet, it's usually impactful stuff. We'll move on with the calls, but Ismail Sobcher is in the NCAA transfer portal. I think it's big news. This was a guy who I thought would come in and eventually get onto the fields. But these younger guys, I think they got to know that they got to wait their time. And, with Jamil Burrow playing, he's a true freshman. That would mean he played over Ismail Sobcher. So where's Ismail Sobcher on the depth chart? Not sure, because you also have Tim Smith, who also did play against Georgia. So you have Tim Smith and you had Jamil Burrow, two freshmen, playing against Georgia over Ismail Sobcher. Sobcher not playing, and tonight Ismail Sobcher announces that he is in the NCAA transfer portal. Where I don't think he announced, but I think that various sources were able to confirm, including us. I was able to reach out and get some information on that. Okay, we'll continue to take our calls. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the line. Go ahead, man. Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
My name's Ben Dover. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, nice call. Ben from Nigeria. All right, thank you. Next caller. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Jack from Buffalo, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jack? Thank you so much. We appreciate you calling in once again. Just saw that Ismail Sobcher in the NCAA transfer portal, man. You surprised by this? Or, I mean, it seems like, these guys, if they don't get onto the fields, it's kind of been a crazy 2020, but you're going to start seeing more and more of this free agency. Are you surprised by this in any way?
No, not really. When he first committed to Alabama, when he first made that announcement, and just the rumors that we kept hearing about Ismail Sobcher, that he's a guy that he needs to work a little bit more on his attitude, and that he has some things that as far as character that he needs to work on. I'm not going to question to say that he's a bad kid or anything like that, but I don't know. I can just tell by the look of him that that he's a talented guy, but he's got to get his priorities straight first. And I think maybe leaving Alabama might just be the best thing for him to try to get back on track to being the type of player that he wants to be.
Yeah, as I was just mentioning, you had Jamil Burrows, who played against Georgia, and then you also have Tim Smith. So two guys playing over Ismail Sobcher. Sobcher not getting onto the field. So looks like he will hit the transfer portal, and we'll see if he does transfer out. I mean, I thought he was going to get on the field, but what else you got, man? Appreciate you calling in tonight, man. It's Tennessee week, but it doesn't even feel like almost a rivalry game, kind of when you look at the series history between the two teams.
Yeah, man, and this game kind of holds a special place in my heart because 2005, which was 15 years ago now, I believe. Like this was the first Alabama game that I've ever seen. I was 7 years old when this game came on back in 2005. Tomorrow is actually going to be the anniversary of that day, with DJ Hall and Kenneth Darby and Croyle and D'Amico Ryans and Roman Harper forcing that fumble in the back of the end zone. So this game definitely holds a special place in my heart. But I think that, Tennessee is going to offer some challenges that, of course, Alabama is going to have to be good at. I think every week offers challenges to help kind of prepare for this Alabama team. And, a lot of people are expecting this to be a blowout, and, it could definitely happen. But as we've seen week to week, man, these games change. I mean, these type of games, it's very unpredictable. Like, Alabama, Ole Miss, people expect Alabama to blow out Ole Miss. And then it actually ended up going to the wire. And then the next week, Ole Miss ends up getting destroyed by Arkansas, and Alabama ends up improving their defense against Georgia. So this is a very unpredictable conference. I definitely think that Tennessee definitely has the tools to make this game very competitive. They have one of the best offensive lines in the SEC. They got 4 5-star offensive linemen on there as well. Trey Smith is a first-round pick at that guard position, so he's going to offer some challenges that you can make an argument that this line is actually better than Georgia's offensive line. And, Tennessee, they're going to try to impose their will by running the football, try to get that running game going. Jerry Garantano is going to have to play the game of his life. He's almost going to have to play perfectly if Tennessee is going to have to win this football game. But, I do expect this defense to hopefully rebound a little bit and definitely show improvements, just like how we saw in that second half. I do expect us to definitely be a little bit better as far as communication, in this alignment, as far as getting our hands out as far as batting down passes. I do expect our secondary to play a little bit better and gain some confidence after forcing a couple of turnovers last week. So I think this is going to be a competitive game, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of falling into, that group of, that Alabama is just that good. And especially coming off a game against Georgia where I saw a lot of offensive productivity for, the fourth week in a row. I just feel that Mac Jones and company going to come out swinging again and make a statement on Rocky Top. And then I kind of combine that with the fact that I think Tennessee, I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes there, trying to figure out which quarterback they're going to play. I think they're having issues on defense. I think, Jeremy Pruitt, kind of the trajectory of him is now kind of downward. I think it's been difficult for anyone to win at Tennessee over the last couple of years. And I thought at the beginning of the season, when I saw Tennessee play, just like I said earlier in the show, I thought they were pretty good. I was like, wow, this team's improved. But now we get to this point in the season, which is just entering week 5. And I'm like, man, this Tennessee is kind of the Tennessee team that we've, seen, more frequently. And I'm not too worried about them kind of going in. What else kind of when you look overall, at the rest of the schedule, Jarek? Because when I look at the schedule, what other teams or what other trap games do you see when you kind of look at everything?
Well, LSU, first of all, is going to be the one game that I definitely am looking forward to because, they're actually trying to figure out their quarterback situation, even though I think that Brandon has actually improved compared to his first game of the regular season. But LSU has the weapons on the offensive side of the ball to give Alabama problems. Terrence Marshall looks like he's one of the best receivers in the country. Eric Gilbert is a he's kind of that Kyle Pitts wide type of tight end that is a mismatch, especially against safeties and linebackers. Even though they have a bunch of problems on their own with the offensive line and the running attack, they definitely have the weapons to give Alabama fits. I look at the Kentucky game. Kentucky has a very good secondary. They were finally able to get healthy with their secondary because of all the COVID protocols, and Kentucky has an extremely good secondary. I'm actually really excited to see the matchup between Alabama's receiving core against Kentucky's secondary. I'm very excited to see that type of matchup. Mississippi State's a very interesting one because they got an air raid offense. And, of course, one of Alabama's biggest weaknesses is going against the passing attack. So I'm very interested to see that game to see if Mississippi State can get it together there. Besides that, though, I think, and then, of course, there's the Auburn game. There's the Auburn game because I think by the time Auburn happens, I think Gus Malzahn's going to be the primary play caller. I think he's going to be the primary play caller for that. And we all know he loves to run those exotic, run plays, run designs. He's going to run a lot of up tempo. He's going to take a charge. He's going to take a charge of that game as their offensive coordinator by the time that happens. So I definitely think that every game is going to present a tough challenge that Alabama hasn't really seen before as far as receiving weapons, as far as up tempo, as far as physical defense and better secondaries goes. Better secondary play. But one thing that I definitely can say is that with this SEC schedule, by the time if they get into the SEC championship or the college football playoff, it's going to prepare Alabama for those tough challenges. One of the arguments that has been made for us for Alabama, Kyle, is that the fact that we haven't really played anybody in the past. And you can make an argument by the time we do go against the Clemsons and the Clemsons and the LSUs and those types of schools in the world that we're not really prepared, we're not ready for it because we haven't faced those challenges. Now Alabama has an SEC schedule where they do have those challenges. Yep. They're facing all type of different schematics and all different type of things and great defensive and offensive coordinators that Bama wouldn't more normally see. So I think that this is going to better prepare Alabama for the future for those Clemson football teams. And if Alabama can improve on defense and they can get better, then I definitely think that this is going to be an extraordinary football team to watch.
Yeah, great stuff, Jarek. I think you bring up a great point, man. I'll answer on the other line, and thank you very much for calling in, man. I know you waited a little bit to get on, so thank you so much, Jarek. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man.
All right. Always one of my favorite callers, Jarek from Buffalo. I think Jarek brings up a great point in the sense that this team is going to be really ready for whatever comes their way. And I think it's because of the fact that they've gone through this gauntlet of the SEC, right? You look at what they've been able to do through these first 4 games and how much better they've become. And I think going the rest of the way, I think these SEC teams, that's why I keep saying that Alabama and Georgia could play multiple times, not only the SEC championship, I think maybe even the playoffs, the championship game, just because I think the SEC schedule has to weigh so much in the college football playoff. I mean, whatever Frankenstein playoffs we're going to have down the season, you can't tell me that any team from the ACC or from the Big 12 has played this gauntlet of what these teams have played for, especially in the early season. I mean, Alabama and Georgia, in the beginning of the season, Georgia's schedule, I mean, all these schedules have been difficult. Arkansas schedule, all these schedules have been tough. And kind of when I look at the long term, I think the SEC, just like Jarek was saying, is only going to make this team that much better come the later part of the season. So great call, of course, from our friend Jarek out in Buffalo. We'll take our next caller, and we'll start now. Hey, what's going on? Thank you very much for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, my name is Corey, calling from Trustville, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, Corey? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I got a couple of questions for you. My first question is, what have you been hearing out of practice? Like, are we focused? Everything going good in practice?
I think this is a really great question because Nick Saban said on his SEC teleconference, which was in the morning time, that the team needs to get refocused. And I was thinking about this. I was like, refocus. What does that mean? So sometimes after a big game, you get too high, right? And you need some humility to kind of bring you down. Now, I don't think this team is in any way overlooking Tennessee, but sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, I think, to bring a team back down to earth after such a big game. I mean, this is a game that had a lot of emotions. You saw Nick Saban even dancing after the game. You saw that, number 2 versus number 3 on a national stage, and you beat Georgia, kind of beat the brakes out Georgia, to be honest, right? So getting that team back on track, I think, is something that Nick Saban's probably worked on already. But I think, the mood of this week is, got to get ready for Tennessee, got to get ready for the next opponent. And as Alabama always says, they have to play as good as they can play to be the best version of themselves. What else you got, Corey?
And Nick Saban seemed frustrated the way practice been in his press conference, or did you get that vibe, or did you not?
Actually, I kind of did. I mean, he seemed a little bit more irked, I think, especially Wednesday night. I think the press conference was only like 6 minutes or something like that. He was kind of like in and out. He was a little bit more jumpy this week. And I said it in my observations. I really feel that, you got almost a charge of Nick Saban from being out from a couple days last week. So I think he wants to get right to business. And I think the message from Saban, kind of listening and reading between the lines tonight, is, look, we're not looking over anybody. And yeah, that win was great against Georgia, but that's in the past. That doesn't mean anything anymore. Time to focus on Tennessee. Every team is beatable in the SEC. And I think Alabama is going to be refocused by Nick. But I think he was a little bit more short than he's been. And probably, just wants to get right back to business and start focusing on a team coached by another former assistant in Jeremy Pruitt.
So you don't think we'll have a letdown against Tennessee, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I know a lot of people are, kind of talk about like a hangover game, or, you win the big game and then go into this one. I don't think so. I think this team has enough leadership, and that's kind of where, you have that leadership. I think guys on this team, Mac Jones, I think Dylan Moses, those guys are seasoned enough to steer this team back after a big victory. Look at Devontae Smith. You think Devontae Smith is a guy who's going to take a week off? Absolutely not. And Mac Jones said that he has that Michael Jordan mentality. Those type of athletes, they want to compete at the highest level, not every single game, every single practice. You guys saw that video by Alabama. Smitty catches 100 balls every single day. So I think they'll be able to curtail themselves back in, laser beam on Tennessee, and I think they're going to roll the balls, to be honest.
Devontae Smith is closing in on the record of career touchdowns at Alabama, because Amari Cooper set that record, and he's getting very close to breaking it. And I think he'll break it by season end. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I have the stats up right now, and that's a great point out, Corey. You have the career stats. Check this out by Devontae Smith. 156 catches, 2,500 yards, 27 touchdowns on the season throughout the career. So I think you're right. Like, he's only a few away. I mean, he could break it within the next 2 games. It's pretty amazing to see the production that Devontae Smith is that he's had this season already. So I have the stats right now on the screen. He has caught for 38 receptions in 4 games, 483 yards with 4 touchdowns, 38 receptions in 4 games, fam. Like, people catch 38 balls like in a season. This guy's doing it in 4 games. Final thought, Corey, go ahead.
What does Mac Jones have to do to have a chance to win the Heisman against Trevor Lawrence? Because that's, unless something drastically changes, those are probably the two going in. Because here's the deal with the Heisman Trophy. More than likely, it's not just stats; it's a popularity award too. Because Trevor Lawrence is probably a more popular player than Mac Jones. Because Trevor Lawrence is the #1 overall pick. Mac Jones would probably just have to blow his stats out of the water. But the problem is, if you're Trevor Lawrence, you're probably playing in just one half, but because you're probably putting up so much stats. But like, what would Mac Jones have to do to have a chance to outdo him for the Heisman?
Yeah, I think when you look at these two head to head, and I think, when you start to kind of look at that Heisman talk, you look at what Mac Jones has done. And I think the biggest deal between these two teams is the fact that Alabama has played such a far more difficult schedule, right? I look what he did against Georgia. I mean, I'll pull up the stats against Georgia's the #1 defense in the entire country. And what Mac Jones did in this particular game was fantastic. I mean, think about this. 3 games consecutively of over 400 yards. So against Georgia, the #1 defense in the country, 24 of 32, 417 yards with 4 touchdowns, passing rating of 219. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I get it. Trevor Lawrence, people love Trevor Lawrence. And just like you said, it's more of a popularity contest. But I think that, the production, and especially if Mac Jones continues to play at this level, I think the numbers and the competition to play will speak for himself. So thank you very much, Corey, for calling in. I appreciate it. And we'll catch up with you next time.
Good talk to you, Kyle. Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide to you, buddy. That was our good friend Corey from Trustville. I appreciate calling in. So breaking news, bottom of the screen, Ismail Sapshire has entered the transfer portal. We'll have more coverage at BamaInsider.com. Long story short, what does it mean? Means that a redshirt freshman has hit the portal. 6'4", 310-pound defensive lineman. I think the writing was on the wall this past week as you look at Tim Smith and Jamil Burrows, 2 freshman interior defensive linemen that were able to get onto the field before Ismail Sapshire. Sapshire did not play, this season. Hey, so look, you guys are probably wondering, like, how do I know all this stuff, right? So this is what I compile. I'm gonna give you a taste of I'm gonna take your calls. I'm gonna get to you guys in just a second. Hang in there. I got a ton of calls, but I want to show everybody right now what I provide on. I can't even show it. I can't show you right now, but I was going to show you. Basically, I compile a list of every single player on Alabama's roster, what they've been able to do. I think I can probably screenshot it real quick and give you a better idea. Hang on the line, guys. I'll be right there. I'll get your calls. We got a bunch more calls coming in. But every single week I compile what's called Alabama football roster intel. And seriously, I go so deep on every single player, what they've done, if they've played, what their stats were. You're going to hear a screenshot in 3, 2, 1. And I'll show you, this is just an example. And imagine this on every single player. And this is premium content that I provide on BamaInsider. So you have to be a premium subscriber. But the reason I'm able to know all these numbers is because I literally compile this. It takes me forever to get this done. And I do this immediately after the game. So for example, this is what it looks like. So you have, for example, like Daniel Wright up at the top. Every single thing that he's done, started against Mississippi, started against Texas A&M, all the stats, all the exact information, what he's done. And I have this for every single player from the top all the way to the bottom. See Chris Allen, I even got like the preseason info, and the list just kind of goes on and on. So that's all the premium info that we have at BamaInsider. Tons of coverage on the site, as you can only imagine. But all that information is called Alabama roster intel. When you go to BamaInsider, it's a premium feature that we have that I provide every single week. So tons of information on every single player. All right. Let's see. Appreciate the super chat, Hudson. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. We'll get on to our next call. We've got a ton of calls. I'll just keep going, fam. You guys want to keep talking football? I'll talk football. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Shane from Baltimore.
Hey, Shane. How's it going?
Hey, it's pretty good, Kyle. Hey, first time calling. Great show. Great job, especially since you're doing the one-man band thing. You're doing a great job, man.
Thank you.
A couple of points and then a question for you, okay? First off, good luck to Sopsher. Sometimes it just ain't a good fit. Hopefully he finds a place where he fits in better and has a great career. No anger there. Secondly, about the Heisman, honestly, I don't give a rat's fuzzy bunghole who wins the Heisman. I want to see Alabama take Dabo and Clemson out behind the woodshed for 4 quarters and bring tears to their eyes because I'm still hurting after what happened to us in 2018 in that championship game. Next point, I know this isn't going to happen, but I would love to see Devontae Smith. I'd love to see some teams make some bad decisions in the draft and see him fall down to where the Ravens can pick him up because I would love to see him on the outside as another weapon for Jackson up here in Baltimore. And my last point, and this will be followed up by a question. I'm gonna list off a couple of names and then I want to ask you something. Names are Antoine Caldwell, William Vlahos, Barrett Jones, Bradley Bozeman, Ryan Kelly, and Landon Dickerson. And the question is it not time to recognize Alabama as Center U?
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. I think that, I was talking actually with Chris Lowe of ESPN. We did an interview with him today. He's going to be on our Friday night tailgate show. Surprise, surprise, spoiler. And he was talking about the Alabama offense, and he talked about Mac Jones, and he said about the wide receivers, but he's like, you know what? He was like, this offense is really predicated around this fantastic offensive line. And I think you bring up a great point. I mean, coming into the season, I think people were like, is Landon Dickerson going to be the center or is it going to be Chris Owens? I 1,000,000% felt it was going to be Landon Dickerson just because of that continuity, because he was a center last year. But you bring up a great point. You look at the guys, the past couple of seasons that have been the center for Alabama, really that's that staple for any offensive line group. But I think overall, it's time to give these big boys some love, right? Alex Leatherwood, Evan Neal, Cornbread, Emil Ekiyor, and Landon Dickerson. I strongly feel that's the best offensive line in the entire country, and I think that's the strong reason that Mac Jones is having a fantastic season. Yeah, he has the weapons. You got Najee Harris behind him, but the offensive line is A+ all across the board.
Dead on, man. Give it up for the big eaters.
Anything else, Sean, while you're on the line?
No, that's it, man. Keep doing what you do. I'm loving it.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Sean. Sean from Baltimore. Appreciate it. I used to fly into Baltimore when I lived in Washington D.C. I would fly in from New Mexico. I'd take a nonstop from Albuquerque to BWI, and I would take the train from the outside of the airport. It was actually Amtrak back to Washington D.C. And I kid you not, I won't keep you guys too long, but on this story. But actually, my Amtrak one time going back to DC, it hit a shopping cart, and we were stuck on this train for like 5 hours. It was horrible. It was crazy. All right, taking my next call. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where you calling in from?
I'm Ronnie, and I'm from Opelika.
All right, Ronnie, what's going on? Thank you very much for calling me. I appreciate it. Go ahead. You're on the show.
On your side-by-side comparison with Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, has Clemson not played 5 games and Alabama just 4?
Correct. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Can you, at some point, maybe next week, put up an average on what they're averaging per game?
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
Because Mac Jones is not getting the love that Trevor is for some reason, but I think Mac Jones has outplayed him and against better competition. And that's basically all I had to say right now. Thank you, Kyle.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. All right. Short and sweet from our buddy Ronnie. So thank you very much. I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. On to our next caller. Hello, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Tim. I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
All right, Tim from Baton Rouge. All right. Go ahead, Tim. You're on the show, buddy.
I was just calling in reference to the transfer portal, Ishmael Softer.
Mm-hmm.
I, followed him a lot being out here from Amy, as well as Smitty. And it's funny, I was just thinking about him Monday, and they find out that he's in the portal. I mean, I was surprised. I was thinking that he would come in and battle for one of those spots. But, what do you think about the transfer portal? Do you think there should be some kind of restriction as how many years you can be in college or before you can enter that portal? Because it seems like if you don't work hard, there's a way out of it. And I don't think that's good for college football. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Saban has talked about this, many times. It's kind of like that free agency of college football. And I think it's also kind of, if the players feel almost entitled to get on the field early, and if they don't, they know that they can just hit the transfer portal and exit out. I think that, it's, should I go situation to situation? I guess so. But I mean, if a player wants to dip out, that's up to him. If kind of the writing is on the wall, then it's not going to work out, and maybe that's best for the team. We're seeing that more and more, kind of that free agency in football, and I guess in all sports. But what I don't agree with is that the NCAA, they kind of pick and choose who is immediate eligible and who's not. It seems like if you have a better lawyer, you're able to get, instant clearance. Whereas if, some players, they just don't get instant clearance. And I think that's kind of the gray area of everything. I think regarding Ismail Sapir, he's one player that I felt would get onto the field. But a lot of these players, if they don't play their freshman or sophomore season, or even their redshirt sophomore season or their redshirt freshman season, they exit out. And I think sometimes that's too quick. You got to wait, especially if you want to be here at Alabama. And I get it. Nobody wants to wait that long time to be at the top. But let's take a player like Mac Jones. He's been here for a long time, had to sit behind Tua, had to sit behind Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Sure, Mac Jones could have left a long time ago, right? But the point is, you stick around for, being committed. What does it mean anymore? And now look at Mac Jones, certainly, eating with the finest group in all of college football.
Right. And you actually build your resume waiting. And to me, if you enter the draft, that's one of the things I would think executives would look at. Will you take time off? Were you quick to leave when things didn't go your way, or did you just fight it out, compete, and try to get that position on the field? I just think it's bad for college football.
Yeah, no, I agree. Anything else while you're on the line, Tim? By the way, I have to tell you, man, I've been to Baton Rouge. I went there a couple seasons ago when Alabama played in Baton Rouge. I thought it was beautiful. I love the live oak trees. I thought it was the tailgate was amazing. I'm serious. If LSU would have beat Alabama, I was going to rip my shirt off and buy LSU shirt and party all night long, because that was the biggest party in the country.
Oh yeah, that they will do. I'm from Baton Rouge, but I'm diehard Alabama fan, but they will, they have good fans at LSU, and tailgating is outstanding. And one more thing in reference to Dylan Moses, and do you think coming out that injury, not having a spring season, is just taking him a little longer to actually get into football shape? Because being that you missed a whole year, even though you're out there practicing, but not having spring, it takes a while to get back into football shape. What do you think?
Yeah, probably so. I would, it'd be interesting to see how he's played through 8 games, for example, compared to 4 games. But how about this too? I was just thinking about it. You're from Baton Rouge. You have Dylan Moses from Baton Rouge. You have Christian Harris, who's from Baton Rouge. And then you also have Chris Allen, who's from Baton Rouge, right? So all those guys from Baton Rouge, pretty amazing. I think all those guys start for Alabama's defense, being right from, Baton Rouge is pretty interesting to think about. I think Dylan Moses, just like I was saying earlier on the show, I don't know if I caught you, somebody asked me about Dylan Moses. And I think the thing with Dylan Moses is he had 10 tackles in this last game against Georgia. And following that game, Nick Saban said that he played his best game of the season. So far, I know it's an early season, but I think to get high praise from Nick Saban, who doesn't give out compliments just to everybody, I think that says a lot about his progression through the first 4 games.
Yeah. It's nice to see those Baton Rouge guys on the Alabama team. Actually, Chris Allen went to the same high school as my kids at Southern University Laboratory School. So I know him very well. Yeah. And there's some talent out here, and I'm just glad they always end up at Alabama. Roll Tide.
All right, take it easy. Thank you very much for calling in.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, take our next caller. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
This is Hudson from Kingsland, Georgia.
Hudson?
Yep, from Kingsland, Georgia.
All right, go ahead, buddy.
Yep, I'm the one that with the donations. Is me paying my respects to this great talk show. Just want to say thank you for what you're doing.
Hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I think like with the super chats and stuff, like it really helps our channel grow. But it's, and while that helps, like a simple thumbs up as well, goes a long way, but we really appreciate it. So thank you very much, Hudson. What else you got, man? Go ahead.
Well, I was on the line earlier and I heard the guy talking about Christian, what's his last name? Barmore or something like that?
Christian Barmore, yeah.
And how he jumped off sides twice. That's inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I play defensive line. I'm a senior in high school at the moment, and I played against Harrison Bailey last year, quarterback from Tennessee, and I think he's going to start this week. I've just been hearing rumors from other high school players that are off at college, and if he don't start, that he's going to get some playing time.
Yeah, interesting.
Go
ahead.
Well, back to the offsides thing. I mean, especially with COVID, with there not being 100,000 people in the stands, you're hearing the same snap count all game, and then late in the second quarter, you're tired, you're fatigued, and then they hit you with the hard count. So I mean, it's inexcusable, yes, but at the same time, it's gonna be stuff like this is easier for the offenses to do with there being less fans.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And I mean, you kind of look at the fact that, like for example, at Bryant-Denny Stadium, where they have like 20,000 fans, and I think you bring up a good point regarding the snap count. Kind of when we look at this game, Hudson, between Alabama and Tennessee, I mean, sounds like you're a lot younger than a lot of our callers, but is this still a rivalry game to you?
Not really for me. I mean, I'm 18 years old, a senior in high school. I've never seen Tennessee beat Alabama.
That's what I'm asking.
Ever since I've known football, the only rivalry that I've seen for me is on Alabama, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, just because I live in Georgia, and you know how Georgia fans are. They like to run that mouth. So thank God we haven't lost to them since I've been at school.
What else, Hudson? I'll give you one more question or one more comment while we get towards the end of the show.
Okay. I think Gus Malzahn is going to lose his job for starting Bo Nix over Joey Gateway. Gateway or Gatewood, I'm not sure. That's at Kentucky. He should have been starting at Auburn. He was the better quarterback than Bo Nix. And I think Gus is going to lose his job because of that one.
Like the thing with Auburn football is it's unbelievable how like topsy-turvy their season is, because they beat somebody who they're not supposed to, then they lose to somebody they're not supposed to. It's like every single time. And then when they play Alabama, they always come with it. Now, I get it. That defense last year was ferocious. I was at that game down in Auburn. I couldn't believe it. I mean, one of the most wild games I've seen. So, we'll have to see about Gus Malzahn, but I think his seat is rather hot, I would say. Hey, Hudson, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Take it easy, buddy. All right. That's Hudson from GA calling in. All right. Got two more callers. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cancel it out. Got an 813 and a 256. So you 256, you're on deck, but we'll take 813 right now. Hey, good evening. Thanks for waiting on the line. Go ahead, Kyle Henderson. Who are you on the line with, and where are you calling in from? Go ahead.
Hey, I'm actually from Florida.
Okay.
And let me just say, that Alabama-Georgia game, oh my God, I did my homework after that. That was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
What's your name?
Ashton.
Ashton? All right, from Florida. All right. All right. So what were your takeaways from that game? I mean, it was 41-24 Alabama. Alabama, kind of came through. Are you're an Alabama fan, I take it?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think when Will Reichard hit that 52-yard field goal?
Oh my, dude! Being an Alabama fan for more than 3 years, I can just tell you, our kickers have not been good. They've been actually awful. But it was amazing. I jumped up in my chair. It was the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right. What else you got? What else you got regarding the Alabama football team?
I mean, I really want Mac Jones to win the Heisman, but Trevor Lawrence against Georgia Tech, I mean, Jesus, they look like a women's football team in high school. I mean, they put in the punter. If I was a fan of Georgia Tech and they put in the punter, I'm just like, please put in Trevor Lawrence for the whole game. Just please don't embarrass my team this badly.
You think Mac Jones could certainly have a shot to win the Heisman? I certainly do. I mean, if he keeps playing at this level, if he keeps balling out, I mean, there's absolutely going to be Mac Jones going to be sitting in New York for that Heisman Trophy, 100%.
I hope so. Like, we're facing number 3. We're facing, Tennessee's awful, but we're facing a lot of ranked opponents. But Trevor Lawrence is straight up just messing up unranked opponents. It's not even fair out here for Mac Jones.
All right. Well, what else you got? Kind of let's get to our final thought as we cruise to the end. If
Alabama Clemson win a game right now, what do you think the score would be?
Like 49-47 or something like that. Will Reichard hits a 54-yarder to send Alabama to their next national championship. Or to win their next national championship, right? I mean, the over/under of the game, total point scores, got to be in the 90s.
Dude, if every single time Alabama hits an extra point, I'm sweating, even if we're ahead by 30 points.
Let me show you this stat on the screen right here. All right, everybody's gonna love this. Okay, Will Reichard right now, Alabama's field goal kicker, 26 of 26 on PATs, 4 of 4 on field goals. All right. He has a longest of 52 yards, okay? And I feel bad for Sam Johnson. He's on the same screen as Will Reichard. He's got 10 punts, 354 yards, with an average punt of 35.4. But he had 3 inside the 20, so, I mean
we're talking about Mac Jones and the Heisman. What about Will? I mean, Jesus, 4 for 4, 26 for 26.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, Will Reichard certainly he needs to be mentioned as well, or at least he needs to get a victory cigar. We were talking about cigars earlier. I mean, Will Reichard, I don't even know if he's old enough to smoke a cigar, but if he is, he should be like these cats, and enjoying a cigar for that 52-yarder.
Oh, dude, a 52-yarder. When's the last time Alabama was hit above 30 yards? That's what I'm asking right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like
you're killing me.
We need revenge for that 2018 national championship. Dude, seeing that game, I went to bed early. I think I cried myself to sleep that night.
Oh man, that's I think a lot of people cried themselves to for the rest of that whole next season. Make a final thought before you break out.
I just want to say, roll Tide. We're the best team in the nation, and Najee Harris is better than Travis Etienne. Good night.
All right, Austin with the call. Maybe the call of the night. Got a call back. I appreciate it. That was awesome. Good banter. It's like I've been a fan for 3 seasons, but man, he goes hard. I appreciate it. That was awesome. That's funny. All right, this is the last call I'm gonna take. It's 256. Hey, what's up? You on the line with Kyle Henderson? Who on the line with him? Where you calling in from?
Hey, you there, Will?
Kyle Henderson. Who on the line with him? Where you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. Who is this?
Okay, this is in chat, Cal 1. My name is Mick.
Okay.
Just call me Mick. Kyle, but let me say,
I got Van on my mind. Go Van Tiffin and go Will Rocker.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing from for Alabama fans, I guess, of the president in the past to see a kicker. Where are you from, Mick? I like to get where everyone's calling from.
I'm calling from Huntsville. I'm around the area that Jeremy Pruitt's from, up that area. I don't know him. I've never met him personally, but I know a lot of people that know him, and so he's a great guy, and I wish him well, except Saturday.
Remember that there's that one clip, I don't know if you saw it, that said he'd like never had asparagus before or something like that. I always thought that was funny, like that. Yeah, it was out there. He was like, he didn't even know it was a vegetable, I don't think. So, I mean, I thought that was
I've
hilarious.
never seen that, Kyle.
Yeah. So
but let me tell you this:
ahead.
I'm 61 years old, Kyle, and there's very few people that can keep my attention, and very few chats that can keep my attention. But you've done it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I put it in chat a while ago, but like I said, I'm 61. So all I know is Alabama dynasties. The only decade that I cannot remember Alabama winning the national championship is the 1980s. Now you correct that if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're good on that. I'd have to look at the overall numbers, but I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, that's it. I've been around since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, two teens and two 20s. And that's the only decade that Alabama had won one is the 80s.
Do you think as kind of when we turn the page kind of to Nick Saban and where he's at his career, and I get it, things have changed since, Bear Bryant and now Nick Saban and what he's done with this program.
I know.
But I mean, what he's done, I mean, I just have such a hard time feeling that this will ever be duplicated again. I mean, it took such a long time. Bear Bryant did such a great job here, but I mean, I just can't see what this entire run throughout his career, if it's ever be duplicated again. I don't see it happening.
I don't either. I really don't, Kyle. I think we're living in a time that, well, not only in politics and whatever, but we're living in a time that we'll never see again.
Yeah.
And that includes Alabama football.
Yeah.
But it'll never stop. We'll keep going. We'll be at post Saban. We'll be post Saban. We'll go again. But it's a unique time we live in. And let me tell all the Alabama fans out there, forget about Clemson. And this is my last point. Forget about Clemson. Forget about Auburn. Forget about LSU and the rest of them. Saturday is Tennessee, and this is a big game, and it is a rivalry game, and some younger folks don't know that, but it's a biggie, and Nick Saban knows it, and I think he's got it put in the players. They know it, so we better be ready and forget about all the junk.
The rat poison.
That's it, rat poison.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mick. Please save the number. Call again anytime. We're happy to have you on. It's I really appreciate the compliment of you sticking around the whole show. We went a little bit longer. Usually we only go an hour, but had so many calls that we kept on rolling with it. So anytime that you want to call in, you're free to call. And Huntsville, definitely good people up there. So thank you very much for calling. And I hope you have a blessed rest of your week.
Thanks, Kyle. You too, brother.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Mick. Okay, that was Mick from Huntsville. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much to everybody who joined the show tonight. I really appreciate it.
We are sorry, but the show has ended. Goodbye.
Not yet. I got to say my goodbye. But thank you so much, fam, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you guys would spend time with me on a Wednesday night, gearing up for Alabama and Tennessee. Remember that you can find our shows also on Apple Podcasts. Just search Bama Insider on your podcast. Of course, all the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Thank you very much to all our Super Chat members tonight. Super Chat's basically like tips. We really appreciate it. Got some great stuff coming up for you later in the week. We got Chris Lowe is joining us from ESPN on Friday night for the Bama Insider Tailgate with Mick Gillespie. And then, of course, we'll have our watch party. And then we'll also have the post-game call-in show on Saturday. Tons of coverage coming your way right here on BamaInsider.com. If you guys could hit the thumbs up button, it really mean a lot to me. And thank you very much for staying with me tonight on Wednesday, October 21. Have a great rest of your week. Be good people. Treat each other well. And we'll catch up soon right here on BamaInsider.com. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com.